Alright, are we live? We are live. Let's go. We are live. Let's go. Alright. Gotta wait for all my boys to join in. Got that new ring light. What y'all think? What y'all think of the lighting? I think I look better personally. This shit's kinda high up though, but you know what? It's fine. Hey, what's good? What's good? We got some interesting shit today. We got the Heinschlein man. We got Gay Frogs, and we got Julian Assange. Lighting change? Hell yeah. What you think, my boy? Is this a W? I think so. Big W. Exquisite. Alright. I'm gonna wait for more people to join in before we begin. I hope you don't mind. If you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, then just skip ahead. You'll be able to find it once I start playing the video. Actually, there's probably gonna be an ad at the beginning, so let's just skip
BetterHelp is customized online therapy that
Fuck
offers
BetterHelp.
video and live chat sessions with.
What is fine?
Who cares about BetterHelp? If you're not going to therapy, BetterHelp's not gonna make you. It's not gonna make you. Alright, if we don't get more people in here soon, then we're just gonna go ahead and begin. But we got some crazy shit. Ah! Yeah. I keep forgetting the camera's up here. Hello. Yeah, but we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes, and if people don't join in, then I guess they're missing out. It's gonna be another live ass stream today. We got some great videos lined up. This one right here in particular, this one's fucking wild. I forget all the details, but that's a good thing. More of a genuine reaction. Let's see. Alright. Should have more brothers in any minute. Alright, what do you think of conspiracy theories just in general, Mr. Mac? Since you're the only one in here at the moment. What do you think of conspiracy theories? Can't just sit here and be boring. You think there's some validity to most conspiracy theories, or do you think it's just some crazy shit? Because if you answer number 2, this right here may change your mind. It just might. But you smart. I think you know that a lot of these shits is true. I mean, people thought aliens were a conspiracy theory. The CIA released documents proving the existence of aliens. It was this huge thing. I'm not sure if you recall or not. It's quite the interesting spectacle. Okay, I think we've waited long enough. Hold on. I think we've waited long enough. And we're ready to begin. Hold up. Alright, so this guy, he's doing this series or this show, or I don't know what it's really called. I haven't really checked it out, but I should. It's called Hunting Hitler. I might get banned for saying that, but whatever. And the information he's about to share right here is wild. Check this out.
Finding Hitler, all about. This is a show that you're on, and it's on A&E. Is that what it's on?
Yeah, A&E is the parent network. It airs on History Channel, and we just had our 3rd season that just finished airing.
What's the thought process behind this? Is it legit? Because a lot of people are like, finding Hitler. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They found Hitler. He died.
Yeah, I mean,
not really.
We don't know.
Right.
I mean, this isn't like Ancient Aliens. This is They declassified a bunch of documents. Both the Israelis, the British, and the Germans and Americans in the past 20 years have been consistently declassifying documents. And there were a bunch of specifically FBI documents that we were spending millions and millions of dollars actively searching for Hitler after the war.
Really?
Yeah, like millions of dollars. Like Hoover was like, no.
But why would they search for Hitler if he was found dead? Watch.
No. Send more FBI agents to South America,
check this shit out.
To North Africa, go to the Canary Islands, go to Spain, trying to find out where this guy went. Tons of real FBI documents with real leads, with real informants, some first eye accounts saying that they physically. So, anyways, that's the show. Is us trying to find out, sift through reality and the fiction of the allure, the mystery of that asshole.
So what's the official story? The official story is that he killed himself, right?
Yep.
He killed himself in the bunker with Eva Braun.
Yep.
And is there any photographic evidence of his death or anything?
Yeah. So what the Russians got the body and they got his skull. And when they brought it back to Moscow, nobody has ever been able to independently verify who and what this body is. They let one genetic test occur, and the body with the bullet holes that they said was Hitler, and have said, and that's the narrative, that's the story, that's all the eyewitness accounts that are even in the vicinity of collaborating with each other and corroborating each other's testimony. Like the closest version, because none of it seems to be very accurate, is that, okay, here's Hitler's skull, and when they did the genetic testing, it's that of a 35-year-old woman. So
that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute. What? A 35-year-old woman? It can't be. No. That's wild.
Like, oh, well, this isn't Hitler, but they've said.
Who else thought up until this point that Hitler actually killed himself? Because before I watched this video, I thought he just, shit, I'm saying all the words I'm not supposed to say on YouTube, but who thought he did the self-delete? Who else thought Funny Mustache Man self-deleted? Because I did. up until I watched this video.
For
Am I stupid?
the past 80 years that this is Hitler. So, okay, first, before we start throwing stones at Russia, let's go back to 1945, April, in Berlin. You have the Allies coming in, wrecking shop, dropping bombs, blowing everything up they can in every single which way. You have the Russians coming in from the opposite direction. They don't even have enough guns to arm all their soldiers. So if they have 200 guys, or 200,000 guys, they have 100,000 guns. If the guy in front of you dies, you just pick up his gun. That's what's happening in April of 1945 in Berlin. So the noose is tightening. There is it is chaos, anarchy, pandemonium. This is hell on earth, is Berlin, 1945. So I don't know if you could get a real story, the way that we do it now, where we have, this forensic experts that come in and document everything, and we look at all the different testimonies, say this is exactly how, it's not CSI. This is 1945 Berlin. It's crazy. So I don't know.
So there was no absolute proof.
No.
And a lot of Nazis did.
After watching this, I think he ran towards Argentina. I think Funny Mustache Man went to Argentina.
Escape and go to South America.
The majority of anyone with power. The Nuremberg trials were not a witch hunt, but it was to close a chapter so we could start moving forward with communism. That's what it was. The threat of fascism, the threat of Hitler, the threat of killing all the Jews, the threat of world domination by the Nazis, that threat's gone. What's the next threat?
Communism.
It's communism.
Right.
So that had to be a closed chapter of our history so we could focus our resources and our efforts to what inevitably was going to, the wall goes up. We have
Right.
East and West Berlin. We're already looking at Korea. This happens almost overnight.
Right, very quickly.
When Patton's like, no, homies, we need to go all the way to Moscow. This is not the end of our war. And we didn't listen to him.
Bro is
We
right.
then have been, fighting communism.
Now we got blue-haired bitches. Bro is right. We should have just ended it.
For the past 75 years.
So the ones with power that went to South America, I know a bunch of them went to Argentina, but they think they went to Honduras and a few other places. Where do they think they wound up?
So what you had in South America, both Chile and Argentina back to back had fascist regimes. You had Perón, who was part of the Nazi party starting all the way back into the mid-30s. He's the president of Argentina. So the Red Cross, they were there was about 3 different rat lines that guys were able to successfully get out of Europe into South America. And there's no question that we're talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of high-ranking Nazis made it there.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. And I'm not talking like little soldiers. I'm talking high-ranking Nazis, officers, guys like Joseph Mengele and Adolf Eichmann. These are the most disgusting, despicable humans to exist at the time. If Hitler is dead.
Think about that. Tens of thousands. You think one man might have maybe, I don't know, snuck in there? I think so.
Joseph Mengele is the guy that would take...
He's probably not still alive. That's a stretch, but come on.
Syringes full of blue ink and inject them. You have blue eyes, Joe, or you have brown eyes. Let me see if I can make them blue.
Oh, wow.
And then take twins and start torturing them to see if one would feel the pain. That's Joseph Mengele. That's the guy that then in South America was helping high-ranking Argentinians have abortions, and he set up... have you seen the movie Colonia?
No.
About Colonia Dignidad, which is... if you're listening right now, I almost warn you not to Google it, because it was a torture camp that was started by Joseph Schaefer, a Nazi, and Joseph Mengele, the doctor of death that escaped trial in Nuremberg and made it at the behest of Perón into Argentina. He set up the hospital at Colonia Dignidad, which was another safe haven for more Nazis in South America. Golda Meir and Ben Gurion, the presidents of Israel, they they took the gloves off and they were just sending assassins to try to find these people and kill them. But what you got in South America were isolated German-only communities. You could go into Bariloche, Argentina, and I'd be like, "Buenos dias, amigos," and they're like, "Guten Morgen." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I meant good morning. Yeah, sorry, it's 2017, right? I thought we spoke Spanish here."
So, in 2017, you were there, and they were speaking German.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah.
Imagine going to South America and going into some town expecting to like speak Spanish and shit, and like you learn Spanish for this trip or whatever, and you say buenos dias to somebody, and all of a sudden they're like, "Einstein, you want to see my grandfather's war medals?" Like, holy fuck. And I think this dude's being serious because he did a entire series about it, right? Like, that's what they were talking about in the beginning. So I think this dude's absolutely serious. I think he went into the South America and saw this shit with his own 2 eyes. That's fucking crazy.
Well, I'm
And sorry I'm not talking as much because this shit is really interesting and I want y'all to hear this. We got other videos coming up next, so it'll be better.
I don't look very.
Bamboozling, absolutely.
I might look more European than I do. So it's just them seeing me walking down the street and be like,
Wow.
yeah. And there's tons of communities. I mean, if you go to Colonia Dignidad, which is now called Villa Bavaria, the Bavarian village, it is only German.
Whoa.
In the center of Chile, in the mountains of Chile. Like there's no Spanish being spoken there. It is exclusively German.
And these are the descendants of Nazis.
Powerful Nazis.
Holy shit. And this is going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are these communities like? I mean, what's their ideology? Are they...
I mean, they're pretty white.
Yeah, but are they like... I mean, do they espouse Nazi values or...
Not openly. So, Colonia Dignidad.
I feel like behind the scenes they do. That would only make sense because imagine getting kicked out of your country and getting sent to another country and never coming back, because if you do, you get charged for war crimes and that country's your new home. You're gonna want to make it feel more like home than it really is, if that makes sense. You're gonna want to bring back what you once had, if that makes sense.
Dad.
And these weren't no bimbos just going in with the crowd. These were like high-ranking people.
If you look at the second generation, there's a bunch of... So, it was a huge problem for Chile that they tried to hide for years, and they got so much power from the torturing that they did at Colonia Dignidad on a whole bunch of other high-ranking South American dictators that they are almost untouchable. And this is, I mean, you'd blow your mind if you look into this, Joe. You'd love it. But the second generation, the kids, like the grandkids, sometimes they're even more fanatical than the original generation. Have you ever seen this? Where like if somebody's away from, like when you travel abroad, man, it's so cool to get into the culture and get into the food and get into the, like you're dancing this style and you love the flag and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to a soccer game because we don't go to soccer games in America, and then I'm gonna go. But then maybe after like 2 months, you kind of miss home, and then like a year, like you really miss home, and then 10 years, like you really, really miss home. And you see the same thing in the United States, where it's not really a perfect assimilation. It's not the melting pot where you see generations that are espousing to be more like their ethnic heritage than they are American. They're flying the Irish flag and like I'm Irish.
Think about what he just said. But in America, we don't really have like isolated communities. We just have like cities and towns and shit. These are like isolated communities where it's just German people. Think about that. And where do you think Funny Mustache Guy went? You think he went to Argentina or Chile? Because I'm kind of thinking Chile now that he's saying all this.
Well, it's just times 1,000 with these communities because they're exclusively German.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of weird.
So, exclusively German and really missing home.
Yeah. Yeah. So
70 years later.
second generations I was talking about, some of them came to the United States and were high-ranking white supremacists that are now in jail, in prison, for their racial crimes.
And they came out of South America.
They came out of Colonia Dignidad. They came out of Bariloche. They came out of
Holy shit.
Cordoba. They came out of Misiones. They came out of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy. So that's the show, Hunting Hitler.
Fucking A, man.
It's a trip.
How many people are we talking about all told in South America that come out of this? I mean, tens of thousands went there, but how many German communities and how big are they?
Yeah, we maybe have 50 German communities.
50.
A
How many people, if you had to guess?
few 100,000.
Holy shit.
Each. Is that each, or is that just... Fuck.
A few 100,000
Yeah.
descendants of Nazis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And man, it's weird when you walk into somebody's parlor and
Imagine that. Is that like per community, or is that total? I'm kind of thinking that's total since you said a few 100,000. But fuck. That's insane.
it's like you're stepping back in time into Europe. Like I'm walking in, it's 2017, and I'm walking in Buenos Aires, Argentina, into somebody's parlor, and all of the tile is European, and all of the style and all the art is very German. You know, we have like deers, and you know, like not like red stags. We're talking German everything, things that Hitler loved, and that's the style, and that's everything. And then they come out and like with white gloves, they're holding their grandfather's memory box, and inside of it are his war medals from, you know, when he was in the SS or when he was, and it is the respect, I don't even know the
reverence.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like this is a gift from the Pope that they're holding in their hands. White gloves. No, I can't. First of all, Tim can't touch it. But I can appreciate it. And then they tell me the story of every single one of these things and how he got there, and how he then went and worked for the Buenos Aires News.
You can't touch anything.
No, they wouldn't. No, because I'm.
You're dirty.
I'm dirty.
Dirty American.
Look at these. Look at this.
You're too brown.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So we followed the first
Wow.
two seasons. It was
I've already seen this video and I'm still just like,
really just unraveling the rumors of what happened to Hitler. The third season was my favorite because I actually got to do real work. They said, okay, I got to the second season, I got to bring in more special forces guys, a CIA targeter, Nadia, who helped my unit kill Zarqawi in 2006. This is the team that is now looking at real evidence, trying to figure out, okay, how did we find bin Laden? How did we find Zarqawi? We looked at their associates, and we looked at how they moved. We looked at how they communicated. We looked at what routes they were using to get to and from places. And then we just started tightening the noose. And that's exactly what we did in this third season was, okay, let's start following the Adolf Eichmanns. Let's start following the Joseph Mengeles. And let's start following the Skorzynskis. Hitler's personal bodyguard that was a colonel in the SS that went on to work for everybody after the war fighting. I mean, fascists do not like communists. So this guy was working for everybody to include the CIA fighting fascism in South America, or fighting communism as a fascist in South America in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Whoa.
Ruthless champion that ever been. No one can match my
Creepy stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, hunting Hitler.
Are there any legit
the CIA will work with anybody. It doesn't matter who they are. As long as like they can work towards a common goal and they can like get something from it, they'll work with anybody. That just goes to show. YouTube. And yeah, if you think what you learned in history is true and factual, it is not. They lied about so much. I'm not gonna like fully get into it, but what you learned in school about history is not true. Some of it is, a lot of it is, but they leave out so much. You will not believe.
legitimate eyewitness accounts of Hitler in South America, or potentially legitimate?
Absolutely, potentially.
Whoa.
Yep. Eyewitness accounts. I saw him get off a boat. I saw him meet here. And if it was just some person saying it, it's almost meaningless.
Right.
But if you look at the context of who this person is, the wealth that they have that they shouldn't have, like, can you explain how you got so rich in 2 generations? You know, like, okay, your grandpa got here from Germany in 1946. That's weird.
I mean, how many eyewitness accounts is he talking about? Because if there's a lot, then at least one of them's got to be true, right? I mean, yeah, there's people that's gonna lie about it and be like, "Oh, that's the funny mustache guy. Yeah, I saw him, trying to get some clout or whatever." But after so many eyewitness accounts plus all this evidence, one of them's got to be true, right? At least one.
And he's on a legitimate visa with an Argentinian passport. Also weird. And now he's a war refugee that's now worth millions of dollars. How does this work? But people, and then this is the hard part, people want to be connected to significant events. And especially in small rural areas of the world, developing areas, like there's so little happening. They want to be attached to something massive, and like the fact that they saw a U-boat land on this beach, and the hatch opened, and these cars were sitting there and they were doing Morse code, and this guy gets off and he had this little mustache. You're like, well, but U-boats can't beach. That's not how that works.
Right.
And but you know what they're trying to do. They just want to be connected.
Yeah.
So, and now we're removed 70 to 80 years from the facts. It has been painful to try to use real science, real investigative tools to try to sift through this lore.
What do you think happened? I mean, you've been studying this for how long now?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
If you had a guess, if you had like $1 million, you got to put it on one side or another. Did he go there?
Welcome everybody just now joining.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
I would say, man, it's and that's the first time I've ever said it flat out like that. What I want to say is the way history is written is wrong. That's clear. There's no way that we can say he died on this day. This is what happened. Here is his body, and
So
that's what
the physical prison.
Oh, hell no.
Her boyfriend killed himself. She was telling him to do it.
We got... Are you for real? Bro. Bro. Bro, 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 bro. No, bro. Are you fucking for real?